Hello again. Ever since Miranda Kaufman's book Black Tudors, The Untold Story was published 5 years ago, there has been a positive mania for showing Tudor England as a multiracial society. One of the people whom Kaufman featured in her book, John Blank the trumpeter, has in a sense taken on a life of his own because the contemporary image of him with his trumpet, the only visual record of a black man in 16th century London that we have, now appears everywhere, especially during Black History Month. He's almost become the mascot of Black History Month in Britain, although he only lived in England for a few years. Some viewers might recall that in a television production the year before last, Anne Boleyn was played by a black woman, as were members of her family. This is part of an effort to indoctrinate young people in this country into accepting that Britain has always had many black people living here. The Tudor period is a popular era for this sort of manipulation of history, and any drama made these days which is set in Tudor England will always have black people in it. Not only that, they must always be shown as people of consequence. In none of these productions will you ever see a black beggar or a black criminal, say. The black people shown in the Tudor period are always nobles or people of importance. This is, of course, in keeping with the conventions of modern television and filmmaking, where black people must never be shown occupying the roles and positions which they actually do tend to hold in society. For instance, if you're watching medical dramas set in Britain in the present day, you will not see most of the security guards in a hospital as being black and the doctors as either white or Indian. Instead, the surgeon is apt to be a black woman and the security guards will probably be white. This is why 4 of the 6 queens, the wives of Henry VIII in the musical, to which I give a link, and the actors from which may be seen in the thumbnail to this video, are black. It is a piece of deception which, if repeated often enough, might eventually be accepted as truth. Already a lot of young people are convinced that in Tudor England, a sizable proportion of the people were black. Incidentally, I described a woman yesterday as a witch doctor. And this seems to have upset a few people who assume that this must be a racist slur because the woman concerned is African. This is just a small illustration of what bloody fools there are in the world. The woman to whom I referred is a shaman who has trained as such in Southeast Asia. She specialises in healing, not people or animals, but rather inanimate objects and places. She's currently trying to heal museums. The proper expression for shamans like that who set out to heal things is witch doctors. I have a particular interest in this subject and used to write a good deal about it at one time for a magazine called Prediction, which in those days used to be about the occult. My most recent book, published last year, available in all good bookshops, has stuff about shamanism in it. Witch doctors used to be popular in this country at one time. It's where the expression has its origins in reference to English people. It's certainly not anything at all to do with Africa, or at least it's not limited to Africa. Those people that thought that calling somebody a witch doctor was a racist slur, it makes me think that it tells us something about the way their minds think rather than my intentions in using that expression.